All right, guys, thank you very much for tuning in today. I get super excited to also be joined by my coach, Rodrigo Comprido Medeiros, a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and also coached a lot of the guys in the UFC. So first of all, how did you get started with all this Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu stuff? The short version, since I got to take him to an airport here very soon.
How you doing, guys? I started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in 1993. I have a lot of friends who at that point were training Jiu-Jitsu. I was doing kickboxing. And my cousin, Sioux, started training Jiu-Jitsu, and then he invited me to go. He wanted me to be his dummy, his training partner. And we started training, like Léo Vieira was one of my best friends at the time. And that's how I started. I was doing kickboxing and Jiu-Jitsu, like I mentioned. And after 3 months, I quit the kickboxing and I stick with the Jiu-Jitsu, and I never stopped since.
So you've had a chance to, compete at a super high level for a really long time. You won the Open title in '99 and 2000, right?
Yes.
Talk to me about a little bit about the mindset of a competitor, what you feel like athletes need to have in order to compete at that higher level, or what got you there for the most part.
Man, I have good instructors. I have very good training partners. I have good physical trainers, so I have a very good team behind me. I have the understanding that if I want to achieve good deeds, I have to commit. I have to have a safe life. I could not drink. I could not use drugs. I could not party hard. I will have to put my time and focus into what I wanted to accomplish. And at that time, what I want to accomplish is become a world champion, an absolute world champion. And I was successful doing that. I think that's what the young people have to understand, not just in Jiu-Jitsu, but young people in general. You can be almost anything you want to be if you work really, really hard for. Mistake the parents are telling to the sons, you can be anything you want to be. That's not true. That's not true. You can be almost anything you want to be if you work really, really, really hard for.
You also had the chance to, be a part of really kind of two dynasties for a while. Alliance, when Alliance was doing phenomenally well, and then Brasa when you guys switched over at the time. Brasa in 2006, 2007 was probably the best team in the world, I think, by far. You had guys like Robert Drysdale, Leo Vieira, Jacare, Damian Maia, all those guys all on the same team. Do you feel like you touched on it a little bit earlier in the seminar? Was it because those guys were continually pushing you and created a great training environment for you to make all those champions, or do you feel like there was just superior coaching, or what do you think that was?
No, I think we had a lot of people with the same goals, and we are lucky enough that we have a lot of good competitors and good instructors who believe in us. And we formed this bond in between us, and we realized none of us would be champion by itself, and we need each other to achieve what we want. So we keep helping each other and pushing each other to the limit, and that was the result. We managed to achieve what we set up to achieve.
So now you guys are with Brasa and with your own team. I guess, what are some of your ideas as far as coaching, things like that, things that you really want to get through to your students? More the same stuff, more just trying to make sure that they work really hard to develop their own skills?
Yeah, look, I believe competition is very important to the development of the person, not just as a jiu-jitsu practitioner, but the competition give you skills that you're gonna use on your life. Gonna make you gonna make you to react faster when something happen, and gonna make you more comfortable in a stress situation, in a job interview, during a test, or in a situation where something in a car accident, or if somebody is having a heart attack. So I believe the adrenaline that the tournament generator new help you with those things. Make you capable to take decisions under stress. And I push my students to compete. Competition is not the only way to measure how much jiu-jitsu you know. Not in a million years. There's many other ways to do. My goal is make sure my students learn jiu-jitsu, understand jiu-jitsu, and make good use of the sport. Help to make the sport better and bigger.
Yeah, for sure. I like thinking of a lot of those things as, like, sometimes with our athletes, we'll make them do scheduled anxiety. So maybe, like, one of them this week is that we're going to make them do karaoke, just to give them that anxiety like they would for a tournament and other things. And it seems like sport, for the most part, is dealing with anxiety on a much higher scale. So then, like you said, when you have things that maybe a job interview or things like that, that's a lot lower level of anxiety than if you were to go out there and compete and things like that. So maybe that makes everything quite a bit easier.
Yeah, I have a lot of students who are police officers, and then they cannot just afford to lose a fight,
Right.
If something happened and they have to intervene, they have to make sure they're going to win. And it's my work. I'm not related with any police department, but those guys are my students. So it's my work make sure they have the tools they need to do the job they do.
Yeah.
And then I think jiu-jitsu helps with that, help to build self-confidence, is extremely good for kids. And I will be doing my part, like trying to promote in the sport.
Yeah. I've had the ability to work with, both the Sioux Falls Police Department and the Minnehaha County Sheriff, or like our county sheriff. And it seems like the biggest thing that I try to get through to them is not even necessarily a ton of the techniques, but just dealing with the anxiety of personal conflict and when situations are dire, how to deal with that mentally almost more than the techniques. But maybe that's your thoughts, I guess, on that.
No, we have a program for law enforcement. The way we structure that is we use few techniques in many different situations. We pretty much do everything around the kimura because it's a simple technique what makes easier for the officers to learn. But the truth is, if someone really want to learn how to protect themselves, to fight or something like that, they have to training into a martial arts academy. Doing a martial arts course is not enough. The training on the academy, on the police academies, are not enough. And then if you manage to go for this academy and you work in law enforcement, you should to make sure you go and compete, and learn how to deal with your adrenaline, your anxiety, because this is going to make you a better professional, and we need it. The whole community thanks to you.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I won't take up too much more of your time because we got to catch a flight. But thank you very much for coming on the show, and obviously thank you very much for the seminar that you did today. It was always super interesting. You always get to learn little details. Like one of the things for me, I can still remember at one of your seminars, Robert Drysdale learning something new as well with like a Kimura, I think from North South, and that was with the belt and things like that. And that one always stuck with me. That's, he won a world championship at the time, and then still learning things, both from you and was super receptive to that. So it's always awesome to have a higher ranked guy like you come in. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, man. It's a pleasure for me to be here, and that's the beauty of jiu-jitsu. Nobody knows everything. So we always gonna be learning for the rest of our lives, you know. And I will be with you on this journey, teaching and learning from you, my friend.
All right. Well, thank you very much, sir.
Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Man, it's really, I really